This happened about a decade ago. I grew up in a modest house, sharing a bedroom with my older brother for most of my childhood. We had twin beds on opposite sides, 2 dressers, and 2 closets, but no room for a desk. It wasn't cramped, but it wasn't exactly spacious either. When my brother left for college, I seized the opportunity, with his blessing, to move his bed out and claim the space. I was at that age where a desk in my room was a game changer, no more doing homework in the basement or my dad's office. It worked perfectly for the 2 years before I went to college myself, after which I wasn't living at home anymore. After graduating, my brother landed a city job back in our hometown and moved back into our parents' house. First thing he did: took back our old bedroom, which I'd spent months redesigning. I was annoyed, but my parents pointed out I'd done the same to him, so I let it go. When I graduated and also got a city job, I moved back home too. With my old room occupied, I settled into the upstairs guest bedroom, half the size, next to my dad's office, and right above the garage. Every time the garage door opened, the floor vibrated for a full 10 seconds. The room, perched on a corner, had 2 windows, one overlooking the driveway, the other the side of the house. It wasn't perfect, but it was private and quiet most of the time. This incident happened on a Friday evening when I was alone. My brother was at a work conference in Baltimore, and my parents were at our family shore house, as they often were on summer weekends. After a brutal day at work, I decided to stay in, order food, and crash early. Around 11:30 p.m., I was in bed, reading to unwind, enjoying the rare silence of the house. Then I heard it, the unmistakable hum of the garage door rising, followed by that familiar floor vibration. It took a moment to register, no one was supposed to be home. My parents were gone until Sunday, my brother until Saturday afternoon. My heart started pounding. I leapt out of bed and peered out the driveway window, but it was too dark to see anything clearly. The garage door was open, but I couldn't tell if a car was inside or who had opened it. Without thinking twice, I rummaged through the closet, grabbing an old baseball bat from my childhood. As I crept downstairs, I tried to rationalize it: maybe my parents came back for something, maybe my brother's plans changed, maybe the door glitched. But at the bottom of the stairs, I heard faint voices from the bedroom side of the house. Too quiet to make out words, but definitely at least 2 people. That's when I knew someone had broken in. I dialed 911, whispering my address and situation to the operator, leaving the call live as instructed. They told me to stay put and not reveal myself, but something in me snapped, an urge to protect my home. Ignoring the operator, I gripped the bat and crept toward the voices. Near my parents' bedroom, I heard drawers opening and items being shuffled. They were searching for valuables. Knowing it was reckless, I took a deep breath, yelled to startle them, and charged in, bat raised. 2 men were rummaging through my mom's closet. They shouted in surprise, clearly not expecting anyone home, let alone someone fighting back. That gave me a surge of confidence, despite being outnumbered and unaware if they were armed. I swung at the closer man, hitting his leg. He cursed and collapsed, hobbling. But before I could swing again, the second man tackled me, his size and strength overwhelming. We hit the floor hard, and he wrestled the bat away effortlessly, then wrapped his hands around my throat, choking me. As I clawed at his hands, gasping, I saw the first man crawling toward us, holding what looked like a knife. In that moment, I thought I'd made a fatal mistake trying to be a hero. I was certain I was going to die in my parents' bedroom, picturing my mom's devastation. But then, faint police sirens wailed in the distance. The last thing I saw was the second man grabbing my bat and swinging it at my head. Everything went black. I came to with a police officer gently shaking me, asking if I was okay. Dazed, with a splitting headache, I saw the door to the backyard wide open. The intruders had fled when they heard the sirens. The officer told me to stay still in case of a concussion. Paramedics checked me out, and though I refused the hospital, I was coherent. I recounted everything to the police, who searched the neighborhood but found no trace of the men. After they left, I called my parents and brother, who were furious at my recklessness. They were right. If I'd hidden, the police might have caught them. My parents installed a full security system, cameras, motion sensors, the works, when they returned. What haunted me was how the intruders knew to use the garage door opener, a button in my dad's car, and struck when the house was empty. I never locked my car in the driveway, a detail they must have known. The timing and access suggested someone close to us, which left my dad paranoid for years. We never found out who it was. That night didn't change me forever, but the moment I accepted I might die lingers, a dissociative feeling nothing else can touch. 6 months ago, I moved back to my hometown to care for my aging mother, who lives 20 minutes away. I found a small duplex, close enough to reach her quickly, far enough for my own space. My mom's health issues aren't severe, but she's had minor falls and refuses a medical alert system, calling me overprotective. It's been a constant worry, knowing she's alone most of the time. One evening around 9 p.m., I was watching TV when my phone rang, a local number I didn't recognize. I answered, thinking it might be important. A woman, claiming to be an ER nurse, said my mother had fallen, hit her head, and was conscious but asking for me. She knew my mom's full name, address, and recent hip replacement surgery. Terrified, I didn't question the call's legitimacy. I grabbed my keys, pulled the door shut without locking it, and sped to the hospital, my mind racing with worst-case scenarios. At the ER, I gave my mom's name at reception, but the nurse found no record of her. Confused, I insisted I'd been called, but they were firm, no one by that name had been admitted. They suggested I call her. Stepping outside, I dialed her landline. She answered, groggy, saying she'd been asleep. I didn't alarm her, just said I was checking in. Then it hit me, the call was a setup to lure me out. Furious at my gullibility, I raced home. The front door was closed, but inside, my duplex was trashed. My TV, laptop, and jewelry were gone, but stranger things were taken too, family photos stripped from frames, prescription bottles emptied from my medicine cabinet. It wasn't just about money, it felt personal, almost sadistic. Why take photos? I called the police, feeling defeated. They agreed the caller's detailed knowledge of my mom's life pointed to someone familiar, but I couldn't fathom who. The officers said to call back with concrete leads and left. The theft of sentimental items suggested something bigger, maybe identity theft or a long-term scheme. I suspected my mom, who's chatty with her many friends, might have shared too much. She's since promised to be more cautious, but I can't shake the feeling we're being watched. I got a Ring camera, hoping it's enough. If anything else happens, I'll update. I'm a single guy in my early 30s, living alone in a rented house for over a year. It's a cozy place in a quiet neighborhood, nothing fancy, but it feels like home. One Thursday night around 11 p.m., I was getting ready for bed when aggressive pounding shook my front door, not knocking, but like someone was trying to break it down. I peeked out the window, but the porch light's bad angle hid the person. I'm a strong guy, so I wasn't scared, just annoyed and confused. I opened the door, keeping the screen locked for safety. A disheveled man, maybe a bit older than me, stood there, looking frantic, wild eyes, heavy breathing, pacing like he couldn't stay still. Before I could speak, he yelled that this was his house, demanding I let him in and threatening to call the police for trespassing. I thought he was on drugs or having a mental breakdown. I tried calming him, saying he had the wrong house, but he got angrier, rattling off details about the house only a resident would know, the master bedroom door hitting the toilet, the sticky back door needing a lift to open. I froze, speechless. Then it got weirder. He pulled out a folder with a lease agreement in his name, dated 6 months before I moved in, and mail addressed to him at this house. It looked real, though I suspected forgery. Worse, he showed me phone photos of himself inside my house, on my couch, in the kitchen, in my bedroom. They looked recent, not obviously edited, with other people I didn't know. One photo, he claimed, was from this past 4th of July, a selfie with a woman and others at my kitchen table, a box of fireworks nearby. It looked authentic, but I was home that day. It didn't add up. I started questioning my own memory, wondering if I was losing it. Desperate for answers, I said I'd call the police to sort it out. His demeanor flipped, he calmed instantly, said he'd wait outside, and vanished into the dark. I couldn't see where he went. When the police arrived, they suggested he was having a mental episode and told me to contact my landlord about previous tenants. My landlord, who's owned the house his whole life, didn't recognize the man's description and had never rented to him. The previous tenants, who lived there alone for 3 years, were equally baffled. For 2 weeks, I was on edge, but nothing happened, until I came home from a night out to find my house ransacked. Not a typical burglary, valuables like electronics were left, but the place was torn apart, like someone was searching for something specific. No forced entry suggested they had a key. The police and my landlord took it seriously, replacing locks and adding security. The theory is this guy genuinely believes he lives here and was looking for his stuff. But that doesn't explain the lease, the mail, the key, or those photos. My landlord's lifelong ownership rules out old tenants, and the photos' authenticity haunts me. A friend suggested something supernatural, but I don't buy it. Still, I feel uneasy in my own home. I hope it's over.